Good, man. How's the family?
We're great.
Good.
Doing really well. Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Feel any different this time around? You guys have some practice at this point?
Yeah, no, everyone's new. Everyone's new. So, thankfully everyone's healthy, feeling great. So, yeah, good.
In your mind, when you had a season where you obviously get hurt, is there a transition point where last year ended to this year, and physically and mentally emotionally?
Yeah, that's a good question because it does feel like, you go through this, you're really, let's just be real, like this is not the timeline that we expected this, to be. I was really hoping to, make it something where we could challenge to, come back and be a part of last year still, and that's why you go through, that's kind of the point of the surgery is try to get back quicker, and unfortunately things didn't work out that way. The way that rehab goes, it kind of feels like you kind of hit this point where you're in the middle of the season, rehab starts, and we're kind of still going through it. And I'm honestly, I'm feeling really good now. There's a lot of things that go on with just having a baby, things out here with OTAs, and just in terms of how you want to approach that. But honestly, feeling really good. And but yeah, for your question, it does feel like it kind of, when you get hurt, like that season kind of just drags on forever. There's never really a stopping point where like you leave the facility, because I'm in here still rehabbing, doing all that stuff. So it does get long, but man, if you love football, it doesn't really matter.
I understand like that you're onboarding back into after being with your family for a while. But if you hadn't have been away with your family, would you have been cleared to go? Are you cleared to go?
Yeah, I think that's a good question, and I'm honestly not sure. I mean, you don't know until you get out here doing football stuff and really putting your ankle, putting my ankle through the stuff that is required of playing football. You can't simulate this stuff. So, I don't know if we'll really know. I feel right now as we've been pushing it now, pretty hard. I feel really good, and so I'm itching to be out there, and it's a good place to be now where I feel like I'm asking for more and wanting to do more and feeling like you're getting held back versus feeling like they're pushing you to do more. So we're in a good place now where I feel like I want to get out there and play, and they're just they're being cautious with it.
Is there like a milestone you have to hit, or anything?
Yeah, I don't know. If you find out, you can ask Reggie and the guys. If you find out, let me know. I'm not really sure.
Every team is different every year because there's roster turnover, but this roster has really turned over. For you to come out here and see so many new faces, what's that been?
No, yeah, it was interesting. When I left, when I left for a little while, we had 40 guys on the roster. Came back and half the team's new faces and stuff. So it was definitely different. But man, it's great. I mean, the energy that these guys have, guys are hungry to play, and man, it is cool. I got a lot of new faces, a lot of new names to learn, things like that. But man, I can't wait to meet these guys, and I'm just seeing them in the last couple of days, how they attack things, how they approach things in the in the meeting rooms and everything. I'm excited to go to work with this group of guys and be able to pursue something great this year.
This is the first time we've seen you out here in terms of OTAs open to the media. But have you been out on the field doing work before today?
Yeah, so this is the first time I've been out, being able to go through a full day of stuff. But I've been able to make some trips out here every once in a while to be able to get some rehab stuff in. Been able to have some stuff going on at the house, and staying close to my family. And at the end of the day, as much as everyone here in the circle knows how much I love this game, how much I love these guys here, I had to be with my family. It was something that I chose to do because that is a higher priority in football, and so I had to be there. But I'm very glad to be back, and no regrets about that. I love my time with my boys, with my wife. But yeah, it's good to be able to go through these days and be with these guys for a full day.
So Cooper, you were able to be with your family. Like, what's your favorite part, about fatherhood so far?
Man, I don't know. I think just, every single day there's moments that come up that you just feel like, you have the opportunity to have an impact on your child's life. And I think over and over again I've seen that, stepping into those places where there's intent between, what I want to do with the time that I'm spending with them, and you go through these things and you feel like you're trying to like teach them, what this life is about and what the morals and the values that are important. And over and over again as I've stepped into those places, I just feel like I'm just reminded over and over again just how great God is, that He's blessed me with this opportunity to talk to these little little angels that have such an impact on my life when I step into those places and just show me, give me such a great perspective on what's really important in this life.
Cooper, I know you said you're still learning some of these new young guys' names, but the time you spent around Puka, at least in meetings and practices that you've been here for, what are your impressions of him so far?
Yeah, man, he's pretty special. I think if he can do what he can stay on a good trajectory, he's going to be a very good football player in this league. I love the way that he attacks each day. He's got a great feel for the game, great feel for leverage, running routes. You come in, you're running new concepts and things like that. Things that you've done before to get open might not fit within the realm of the things that we want to do here, but he's just transitioned so quickly over to understanding what the parameters are that he's able to work in. He's a great feel for attacking leverage, how to stick things, his timing on when he needs to show up for things, and as he's asking the right questions too. I think that's the big thing. He's asking the right questions, and as he gets more reps, over and over, as he gets to see these things, he's just going to get better and better. So I'm really excited about him, and the steps that he's going to be able to take over these next few months.
It's a couple more guys. Kind of a weird question. As well as you know Matthew and he knows you, but he's throwing this offseason, you're coming back. Is there a time where you go, hey, we really got to get more timing down?
Yeah. No. Oh, certainly. And we've already been talking, about what that's going to look like, before training camp, and we certainly know there's obviously plenty of time in training camp, but we want to maximize these next couple of months and the time we get to have together outside of OTAs as well, and we'll make sure that we get that time and dial things up, and we're in constant communication about stuff and how things are looking, but without a doubt, there's no substitute for playing football and taking the reps.
You obviously have a lot of experience and personal experience with being a really young player and having so much put on your plate in terms of the mental stuff and also the physical stuff out here. We see every year, some of these guys get tested, some of the receivers, skilled players, they get tested with the mental stuff. And at what point can you guys tell internally when somebody really has started to hit that learning curve, when they really might stick in that space?
Yeah, I think you can see that. I referenced Puka. I think that's one of the things that he's done is he's processing so quickly that he's, you go from thinking about the lines on the page to the reason we're running the concept, right? You go from just what the picture says to what the why is behind the picture. And I think that's the biggest difference is when you can get to that place, you can get to the why and you see someone playing that out, like this is why that we're doing this and why I'm reacting this way. That's when you're like, okay, this person gets it, they're figuring it out.
Have you had any, even if it's limited, Stetson Bennett, your impressions of him either? He's done some good stuff out there. You talk about young guys having a lot of mental stuff on them. Quarterbacks, more than anyone else, have so much going on. And Sean's not going to hold back on the play calls for those guys either. He's going to give it to them. So I thought he's done a really good job. There's obviously going to be some hiccups, things of that nature, but it seems like he's processing things well. He's made some really big time throws, and seeing the field well. Also, he can move. He's a pretty athletic dude. So I think he's definitely the most athletic quarterback in Georgia that we got on our team. So, but I think we'll see some good stuff from him. Excited to see some stuff from him, during training camp. Perfect. Thank you guys.
Appreciate the time.
All right. I know. You guys go ahead.
So Sean, Cooper just talked about all the energy out there.
Yeah.
I think we felt that to you too. Talk a little bit about that.
It's a fun group. I think, we challenged them and they answered in a big way. And we weren't out here too long, but I think when you bring the right kind of energy with the right focus and concentration, that's how you get better. And I thought there was a lot of really good stuff on both sides, and we want to be able to positively push one another. But, it's contagious and it's fun too. That's what you're reminded of. And it was a lot of good stuff today, and there was definitely great energy.
Is a lot of that youth, the youth?
I think so, but I think there's a lot of our veteran leaders that were, really leading the charge, and coaches. You see those guys all get excited for their guys to be able to make plays, and that's what you want. And I think that's how you positively push one another, and that's what we want to be able to do. That's all you can do in these settings right now, and it's a good thing.
You hear that initial cheer when someone makes a play, or even someone else makes a mistake, and then you hear that undercurrent of those technical stuff. The coaches are always like right there underneath. What is that energy for you? How have you felt that from your group of coaches so far?
It's great, Jordan. I think the most important feedback you can give is immediate feedback, and it's really being able to have that positive affirmation, but also being able to correct immediately. And these guys, they want to be coached. They want to do it right. And there's so many intricacies and little details with the technicalities and the fundamentals of each position within the framework of a defensive call or an offensive call. And I've really appreciated the energy that the coaches have brought. Their energy can be illustrated and seen in different ways, but that's the most valuable thing, and I love that. Sometimes one of the coolest things you can do is just step back and see how many good things are going on, and guys are getting better, and coaches are enjoying out here, being able to help these guys get better and take steps every single day, and we've really enjoyed this offseason. And like we talked about a couple weeks ago, it's been really fun to be able to get some real practice work, be able to make some corrections, still do it within the smart parameters of what the offseason rules entail, but it's been a handful of years since we've been able to do that, and that's been fun for us.
Sean, when in the time you've been here, I'm sure you've seen a different degree of wide receivers who really grasp your offense versus maybe it takes a little bit more. Where's Puka in this?
It's been really impressive how quickly he's gotten up to speed. I think, you can't say enough about Eric Yarber, KJ Black, Jake Peets. Those guys have done a great job, and he's really conscientious. Matthew's done a great job of really just kind of taking him under his wing and being able to kind of just help give those little nuances, having Cooper back. So he's smart, he's conscientious. It's hard to really compare to anybody because, a lot of those guys, whether you talk about Robert's first year, Cooper's rookie year, having Sammy, but then ended up having Brandon Cooks, there's been a standard set in that room where there's been really conscientious players. Even you go with Josh Reynolds, how quickly Van has done a great job of grasping the offense. And so, he's a guy that we're expecting him to come in, expecting him to be able to contribute and compete. Every spot is going to be earned on this team, but I really like what he's done, and I think it's a credit to everybody around him and his conscientiousness.
What did you see Van or Vince Veronic out there today? Are they okay?
Yeah, they're good. We're just being smart with them right now. Ben has, just kind of had some soreness in that foot, kept keeping him out, and then it was kind of just a recovery day for Van.
What's it like having Cooper on the field? Even though he's not necessarily participating in everything, but just his presence out here, does that have an impact, you think, on?
Oh, I think so. I think so, Gary. I think, he really is an extension of the coaching staff, and he sees so many different things. But he really wants to pour into his teammates. And anytime that you have a guy like him out here, it's always going to be able to, be a positive for us. Now, it's even better when he's out there being able to play. But in these settings, I think what it's done is it's allowed guys like Tutu Atwell to shine really bright. You're getting reps for Puka Nacua. You're seeing some of these other guys, whether it's Van Jefferson, Austin Trammell's done some really good things. But you're getting a chance to evaluate some guys in spots that maybe they wouldn't get reps or opportunities at otherwise. But it's been great being able to have Cooper here, and congratulations to he and Anna on their third little boy. Now they're a man short and playing 3-on-2 right here with the kids up one.
So I saw you talking to Cam at the end of practice there. What have you seen so far from him? And now he's one of the veteran guys. So what type of leadership are you going to look for him when it comes to the players in the backfield?
I think Cam just being himself. I think he was able to really, leave off the season on a bright spot. And then, Ron Gould coming in, what a great job he's done. Detailed, so thorough. A great track record in history of being around a lot of great backs. But he's such a great person, and I think he and Cam have really established a really good rapport. But Cam's got a natural charisma and a presence about him that people are drawn to. And when he's got the right vibe and the right energy, that's a real positive thing for our team. He's a guy that we're definitely counting on. I've loved the way that he's exuded leadership in that room, but also for our team in general. And I also think Kyron Williams is another guy that's really stood out. He's done a great job, but Ron Gould, Cam, Kyron, they've done a great job setting the tone in the right way for that running back room.
Sean, obviously there's a long road ahead in terms
Sure.
of figuring out your starting five up front, but I noticed Tremaine more at left guard and Steve at right guard. What do you like about that potential and what those guys show you so far as you've increased their workload?
I think similar to what you've seen in years past, Jordan, being able to move and mix guys around. The good thing is Tremaine played everywhere at Clemson. He's been able to play on the left and the right side. Steve, really, his background is as a center, and then he played left guard last year at TCU. So I think what you said is exactly what we're hunting up. Figuring out that best five combination. There's still so much football to be played, so many things to be evaluated, but I like the way that both of those guys, they were playing on the opposite sides last week. They flipped this week, and it's only going to make us that more versatile, and then it'll be awesome in training camp to be able to get Joe Noteboom back in the mix, whether he's playing tackle, whether he's playing inside, and I've really been pleased with Tremaine and Steve. They've done a nice job in particular.
Sean, Dan Campbell said today, I think, when he was asked about Jared, that in his opinion, he's a better quarterback now than he was when he was here, just because he knows more.
Sure.
What do you think of that assessment? Do you agree with that assessment?
I think Jared's played at a really high level. I'll tell you what, though, when you watch what he did last year, he played great. And I think because he's so conscientious, repetition is the mother of learning. The more you play, the more you learn. You can really see, he's able to get through progressions quickly. They were asking a lot of him. He got a lot of different guys involved, took great care of the football. And so I think he's only gotten better. He played really good football here for us. Really grateful for those things. But I was really impressed with just the way that he led and the way that he ended up, demonstrating a lot of the things that we want to embody, that mental toughness. And, I think he was like 29-7 in terms of touchdowns, interceptions, one of the, better ratios, and threw for a bunch of yards. And they were one of the top offenses. And, he's I was really happy to see how well he did. I think, that's probably a fair assessment because he's only getting better.
Your specialists
Last
are
one, yes.
all rookies.
Yeah.
And also they're all like 20 and 21 years old and very, very
Young.
Yeah. At what point when you guys have these discussions through the off season, is there any balking at that? Any hesitation at, we might really be starting totally from scratch with these kids?
I think we kind of knew that was a possibility, Jordan, but you look at Chase Blackburn, you look at Jeremy Springer, can't say enough about just the amount of work that they did. They weren't even really here the majority of the offseason because they're going to workouts, they're going all over. They know more about the specialists coming out or the free agents available than I think anybody in the league right now. But they identified, and really those four players with the two kickers, the punter, and the long snapper, those are guys that they really liked. And I think there's been healthy competition at kicker. Been really pleased with what Alex done at long snapper. Ethan's done an excellent job, whether it be holding or some of the punt situations. There's still so much evaluation to be had, but they are young, but they're engaged, they're energetic, and it certainly doesn't seem too big for them. They've got a good look in their eye, and you want to try to be able to create pressure type of situations, but really just see how they can stay even keeled. And Chase, Jeremy have done a great job leading the way, and those guys have been real positives up to this point. Okay, thanks guys. See y'all.
Happy anniversary.
Be late. God bless.